Hi, welcome back to this video where we talk about spotlighting. Now imagine you are at a theater and all the lights are down, the audience is very still, the stage is completely black, and you start to hear footsteps across the stage, and then the footsteps stop and a spotlight comes on the stage and it illuminates the head and shoulders of a singer. And that singer begins to sing and everything is in darkness and you just think, oh my goodness, it's me and the singer. There's nothing else around. And the music starts to play and the orchestra starts to build and then the music crescendos and the lights blow up on the stage and all of a sudden there's like 30 people on stage. There's commotion everywhere. There's children running around. There's props. All of this was happening, but you didn't see it because the spotlight kept you focused on the woman. And there's a very famous psychological test which says take the next 30 seconds, look around you, and memorize everything that's red. So then people take the 30 seconds, they scan the room, they look at everything they have to look at, red, 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 and they come back at the 30 seconds and then the person in charge of the experiment says, great, tell me everything you saw that's blue. And the person is like, red? No, blue. Because your brain was looking for red, your brain was not looking for blue. So you will barely remember anything that was blue in your field of vision because red was your focus. That's the same thing in our relationships. We spotlight all the time. When we spotlight with our partners though, it has different levels of ramifications other than just not being able to list all the blue things. Say for example, your partner comes home and they drop their bag on the floor and they walk to go have a shower. Okay, that's fine. You are so focused on the bag. You are so focused on the mess and it's beside the shoes and you can't stand that the bag is on the floor and the shoes are on the floor and they're going to have a shower. Like, what's going on with this bag? Why is it in the middle of the floor, right? You're missing a lot of information. And so the focus on the bag and how angry you are getting and how disrespected you feel because the bag was just dropped on the floor, you're gonna miss a lot of other things, right? And so what are some of those things you might miss? Maybe your partner is feeling completely overwhelmed. Maybe they are so bored and dejected at their job that they just can't even stand it. And all they want to do is wash away their emotions from the day. Maybe they're really disappointed and they just have lost the will to care about where they put their stuff. The will is not even there. They're just like, I need to dump and go and just get this day over with. What if they're feeling anxious or ashamed of something that happened and they really just want to try to hide from it and they didn't even think that the bag signaled anything to you? It was just, I'm in my house is safe, I'm putting this down, I'm going to have a shower. When you spotlight on the behavior of the bag, you really can miss a lot of other things. So then what typically happens is the person comes out of the shower, they get dressed, they might come back to the living space, and you have been stewing on the bag this whole time. And so your energy is ramped up and you're anxious or you're frenetic inside. People can feel nervous energy, right? If you've ever walked into a room of people and you're like, oh, I'm not going near that person. I'm feeling the vibes. I'm going over there. They look really calm and happy and I want to be with them, right? You can feel the energy from people. So if this is the case and your partner comes down and you're all very agitated and irritated, they're going to know it. So either they might think, what's wrong with you? I literally just got home 2 seconds ago. Or they're gonna think that now they have to take care of you because something else happened to you today. which totally didn't happen, but they don't know, right? So when we spotlight, we miss a lot of information. And I want you to take a look at this picture. What do you see? Are you sure about that? Our brains are designed to extrapolate the information that our brains think we want quickly and easily. We have thousands of inputs a day, thousands, and we cannot process all of them. Our brains would probably implode in our heads, right? They would just start oozing all over the place. We cannot. So we have filters, right? We have filters of things, and sometimes those filters are working for us and they're perfectly wonderful. And sometimes those filters are not, right? And when we start mind reading or when we start spotlighting and excluding other information, we really are not exercising the better filters. So in this scenario with the bag, when we're spotlighting on the bag, we miss all these other things. And so it really puts a very negative spin on kind of a neutral thing. If the bag didn't bother you, you wouldn't even notice it. Your partner would come home, the bag would go down, they would go in the shower, and you would carry on, right? But if the bag is bothering you, that's a hot button issue. There's something there. It's either that you feel they're being messy, or they're being disrespectful, or they can't put their own crappy day aside and come and check in with you, so you feel a little bit rejected. There's a hot button issue there for sure. So if that's not on your list, then please go write that down. But do you see how they come up? The hot buttons are everywhere. If you're spotlighting on something, there's a hot button there, right? So if you are spotlighting on, the way that they do something, the way they load the dishwasher, and it just makes you so crazy, and you're just like, don't ever touch the dishwasher again. I am going to do it. That is a hot button. And you need to think, what's going on here? Like, why is that sending me into this frenetic place? Why do I need to be controlling this experience? Why do I need to exclude them in some way? There's something there. So it's just an opportunity for you to look at it. So spotlighting is really something that happens because we have such strong filters, because we cannot take it all in. But on the flip side then, we have filters and we can't take it all in. So we have to say to ourselves, self, I'm feeling like this bag is doing something to me. I'm gonna step back, literally step back, physically step back and look at the whole picture, right? What is this whole picture? Just like the Salvador Dali painting. What does the whole picture have here for me? The whole picture has what happened in my partner's day. Maybe we need to put a bench so that it's not on the floor, and that just solves the problem, that the bag goes on the bench and that's just where the bag lives. Maybe this is a sign that that would be a lovely thing for my partner to have, is a place to put the bag. Or maybe I make space in the closet and put a little shelf and the bag goes there, right? When we're able to understand it, we can actually decide, where do we want to go in solving this? But if we just keep getting angry about the bag, then we're not actually solving anything. We are just pointing fingers and blaming and going back into winter that our partner doesn't love us, or that they don't respect us enough to take care of their things, our things, the house's, the state of the house, or whatever you want to call it in that space. And that's where we start. So let's think about spotlighting and try to come up with some times that you have been spotlighting. What have been some times that you have said, I'm not seeing anything else but this thing. I have blinders on. This is the thing. And maybe you were right to exclude all of this. Maybe that was just noise, but maybe you missed critical information. Maybe you were so focused on the bag, you missed the fact that, their best colleague is in the hospital with cancer, or, a partner that they worked for was killed in a car accident, or their manager is on vacation and they are now reporting to somebody who does not get them and they are not happy, right? Totally all reasonable things like that happen, but you focused on the bag. And so it didn't give you an opportunity to leave winter behind because you're just so caught up in spotlighting. And spotlighting is absolutely a path back to winter. So think about the last time you were spotlighting. What did that do for you? What was that controlling piece? And what did you miss out on? By spotlighting, what did you miss? That's your homework for today. Anyways, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for joining me for spotlighting, and we will talk about blizzards in our next video. I'll see you then. Bye.